yeah. So good. Okay, I've been seeing this absolutely everywhere. I haven't had a chance to sit down and have a proper listen yet. I've had like little snippets here and there, but only of one song, and I haven't heard anything properly. So I'm going to have a first listen for the first time properly here. Got my coffee. We're going to settle in and check this out and maybe analyze some of the production and the mixing choices as well. And then we'll actually go listen to the album too that just dropped. So let's start with this though, so we get some of these crazy visuals. I wonder if they must have been using a metronome for this. You can see his eyes, just about. Cool. Polyrhythms. Yeah, it sounds great, but it's definitely more kind of live performance territory. So let's have a listen to the album that just came out as well. I think after they've kind of started blowing up here. Let's see sonically, production-wise, if there's anything interesting to talk about. Oh yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so some interesting, the things that immediately grabbed my attention. Drums sound very kind of choked. Especially the snare. In terms of the balance, they've gone for like the bass and the guitar really up there compared to the snare. Normally with this kind of stuff, I would be used to a snare that sounds quite a bit louder in the mix. So let's listen to Sarniez, which is the one I have heard this intro. Kick has got a very live sound to it. There's certain albums where you can tell they've gone for that kind of like heavy low end, like live feel when you're at a concert and the kick drum is just like, it's huge and it hits you right in the chest. It almost sounds like it's got some reverb to it, but it's mostly just kind of having a lot of that low end. Very dry sound for the most part to the guitars and the bass. I'd be curious to know if they track everything separately, because live they're obviously looping. I imagine in this it's been multi-tracked. But the tone is still very similar to the live performance. You got that kind of like prog rock bass tone. It reminds me of like King Crimson, that kind of stuff. Like very heavy kind of pick, low gauge strings. quite low action to get that kind of like, how do you describe it? Like slinky kind of bass tone.
Obviously, it's like absolutely freaking amazing. That snare, though, I'm not a huge fan of. It's just a bit dead, a bit lifeless. Like I said earlier, a little bit choked, for my taste at least. There's no kind of sustain to it. There's no crack to it. Like, not enough of the actual snare. The cymbals as well, they sound kind of almost like they've been like kind of band passed. Bass is very high in the mix. Throughout, the bass is like super up there, which as a bassist primarily is really cool to hear. Like the bass is louder than the snare, which normally is like very much the other way around. Let's see if we can actually grab something here to pull into Logic and have a look at what's going on. All right, so this is the first track on the album. Let's have a listen to this one. Yeah. I can't even think about the production right now. I'm just gonna enjoy it for a second. Cool. So, very much the same. This is all, sounds like it was recorded in one kind of session, or at least in the same studio. In terms of LUFS, loudness, this is exactly where I'd expect it to be. It's like, we always give kind of like -9 to -11 as somewhat of a decent range. It's like exactly in there. It's not super competitive. It doesn't need to be. There's some dynamic range in there. If anything, like -9 is maybe a little bit louder than I thought for this kind of music. We really don't need this to be like incredibly loud. Let's compare this, just see where we're at in terms of the overall balance. So here I've got a Primus track. This is the remastered version, so bear that in mind. But let's listen to this quickly and then see if there's any interesting comparisons to be made.
Such a cool song. So, Louder. So for this one, we're up at like -8. And you can see that low end on the bass is really pushing the low end down here. Our kind of general profile is a lot more in this kind of 60 to 80 range. In terms of the bass tone on the Primus track, a lot less low end, but the bass is just louder in the Angine de Poitrine. But again, if you really listen to that snare, let's find a good section. Oh, yeah. So good. Yeah, it really isn't a big deal, but that snare, compared to if we go right back to the beginning here where we can hear the drums, just a bit more crack, a bit more body, a bit, and also some reverb. It's a very dry snare in Angine de Poitrine, which I think totally works. I don't think it needs like a ton of reverb, and that's obviously not what they're going for. But that's the main thing that kind of stands out to me. There's not a whole ton to talk about because it's very simple, right? We've mostly just got a guitar and a bass that sound like they were recorded pretty direct. Obviously got these interesting affected guitars. Find myself missing some top end as well. In this region, especially on those cymbals. Interestingly, the kick gets really clicky there. So this isn't the kind of music where you expect like really high production value, but it's interesting to think about and just kind of analyze, you know, what's jumping out. Hey, Rob from the future here. I was just watching back the video and thought it might be interesting to actually apply some of those changes and see where it lands. So we could probably bring down 60 to 100. I think that's probably something I'd end up doing on this. Curious to know what you think. Leave a comment below and let me know what you're hearing. But that's kind of where I would be nudging things. Again, this is incredible. It feels ridiculous to even talk about production when it's something as good as this musically. And it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's about the music. But at least for my ears and kind of my preferences, if I was sent this to master, this is kind of where I'd be nudging things. I'm stoked that this is doing so well right now because I grew up listening to Primus, Tool, Frank Zappa, like all of this more alternative rock, Captain Beefheart, like that kind of stuff, Ween. So it almost feels like it's making a resurgence. And it's interesting to think about how this is happening at the same time that AI music is also taking off. And I always wondered this. I read an article a while ago about how back in the Industrial Revolution, there was basically a counter movement and kind of a Renaissance movement where it was really fighting against that. And it's like you have to have that kind of common enemy to then create the contrast that makes this very human and very kind of odd, weird music. This is very microtonal. There's lots of like interesting riffs going on. It really makes that stand out, and we see the value in it more because it's in contrast to all this just like AI slop that's just so soulless and boring. And I'm really excited about that because, you know, on one hand, that is like very depressing that there's all of this AI crap. But at the same time, if it creates this kind of like counter movement where people really start to value more unique, more creative music, I'm all for that. The other thing that I love about this is like there aren't really any vocals. And there's this philosopher called Theodore Adorno, great philosopher. He wrote an essay on music that's really interesting. I read this a few years ago and it really helped kind of shape my views of music. And he talks, it's this one here, on the fetish character music and the regression of listening. And he actually talks a lot about the importance of music that is, first of all, somewhat jarring and has something that kind of takes you out of just this kind of passive state of listening and instead really catches your attention. But also removing some of the kind of the vocals, even like not having any singing, it being purely instrumental, removes a lot of the kind of fetishization that he calls it, where music instead becomes about the thing they're singing about sex and money and all of these things, as opposed to just like the music itself as a pure form of expression. And while there's nothing wrong with kind of pop music, it's different. It's a different type of music, has a different intent. There is often like a capitalistic intent with that, and that's absolutely fine. It's the music industry, after all, it's the music business. But that is kind of one category of music, and then there's this other category of music that I think Angine to Poitrine fits into. I'm actually, just really happy that that's making a resurgence, and I'm going to be listening to this a lot. Hopefully we see a new wave of these kind of acts as well coming out, and much more of a return to that. So definitely check out this essay if you'd like to see maybe a breakdown on this. Let me know in the comments below. You could dig a little bit deeper into that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Let me know if you want more videos like this, just reacting to kind of popular music that's out there and breaking it down a little bit. With other music, we might be able to go a little bit deeper into production if there's kind of more going on. This is like pretty straightforward, but for sure, let me know if you want to see more of these. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so go and check it out. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.